What's going on, my dudes? This is Mr. Gardner, and this is Math Time with Mr. G. Today we're going to learn what a scatter plot is. A scatter plot is us being able to predict future events when it's not perfectly straight of a line. And so let's look at how tall someone is with their shoe size. So let's say I interview someone and I say, hey, what shoe size do you have? And they say, I wear a size 9. And I say, hey, how tall are you? And they say 5'1". So I would put an X right there because that represents 5 foot 1 inch and 9 shoe size. So that's that person's data. And I'm going to do that for about 5 or 6 other people. And again, I could have multiple people that have size 12 shoes but be different size. And I could have some people with the same height but different shoe size. And that's what a scatter plot's useful for, is saying, what's the trend? What's going to happen most likely? Even though there are some times where people are the same height but different shoe size, and the same shoe size but different height. So there are different ways that we can categorize our scatter plots. We can say it's positive, which means that my x's are going upward. I can say that they are negative, which means that my x's are going downwards. And then I can say no correlation. And that would be something where the x's don't actually tell us much information. And something that could be an example of this is what size shirt you wear to how tall you are. There could be people who are super thin and super tall. We could have super short and super wide. And so that doesn't really help us make a prediction. So we can categorize it also as strong and weak. Strong means that most of our x's fall in a straight line. Weak is that most of our x's fall nowhere near this line. So strong could look like this, where they're a little bit spread apart, but for the most part, they're on a single straight line. So we would say that this is strong positive. I can also have it where it's perfectly in a straight line. This is the most ideal and the most strong because all of my x's hit one single straight line. So we would say this is strong negative, because my slope is going downward. Weak would mean that, yes, they're kind of together, but it's not a no correlation where it's just random, but a lot of them don't hit the line. So we would call this weak positive because of my line going up being positive, weak being very little of my data reflects it. I can also have weak negative, where yes, it's trending downward, but very few of my x's actually are in a straight single line. So we would call this weak negative. And where this is useful is we can use a line of best fit. So I interview my people again, and now that I have my data, I'm going to put a line that goes through the middle of most of it. It won't necessarily hit all the x's, but it's in the middle and close to most of it. Now that I have my line, I can create an equation. Well, that hits at 5. And now I just have to find my slope. And it looks like it goes up 1 over 1, 2, 3. Now that I have this line, I could predict something with Simon with a size 14 shoe. And I can predict how tall they are. So this says that if someone is wearing a size 14 shoe, they are most likely like 9 feet and almost 10 feet tall, which is way up here, which is pretty close to with what our data says. Alright, if you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comment section. Other than that, be kind to each other, ask lots of questions, and think deeply.